If you wanna chill, baby, then you smoking. You might wanna chill, cause it's sour potent. I just wanna feel on your body slowly, token on the blunt, laying as you blow me, keep it real, never phony. I just wanna build yearly a multi-meal in the bank, then we rob it just to double up for thrills. Got the hill insurance, still grand to it. I done cut my losses, done been through it. I be going into it, Eskimo cold, no mad on the road, trying to feed the fam. Hoes be always trying to play the boy like I'm Peter Pan. Just plays an album in the blunt like at least a gram. Trying not to crease my Vans, tiptoeing in my Steve Kerrs. Now Jordans are very on my sneakers. Always wearing black and gray pants and my t-shirts. Sipping liquor, smoking gas, spitting ether. Please her with reefer. I ain't dead as she. French and Mary Jane, other women mad at me. I'ma show them how to roll and split them clouds out low. Keep it soda to the homies. I'm a loud mouth, causing up a ruckus, acting up and getting bounced down. I'm the North Star, never took the South route. We off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall. Thugs, bros, and punks, we brought them all, we brought them all. We off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall. Grinding like a skateboard, spotters need to play more. We off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall. Thugs, bros, and punks, we brought them all, we brought them all. We off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall. Grinding like a skateboard, spotters need to play more. We off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall. Thugs, bros, and punks, we brought them all, we brought them all. We off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall, we off the wall. Grinding like a skateboard, spotters need to play more.
What up? Welcome back, y'all. It's Sunday, February 1st, and you're watching One More Round Fights. I'm the host of this here channel, and I do this shit every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday. I bring you guys MMA and boxing tips, picks, parlays, tricks, you know, all that shit. And I'm back again, baby. We had a fat, 3 C's thick fat. All right. We had a fat slate this weekend. Not on the MMA side, on the boxing side. I mean, card after card after card after card. I couldn't even keep up. Stars were fighting on this card. Stars were fighting on this card. Upsets were happening here. Upsets were happening there. We even had Francesca Hennessy pull off a dubber. Shout out to the Hennessy Corporation. Just kidding. She's unrelated. But anyways, what a fucking week, y'all. What a fucking week. Yeah, I'm the host of this here channel, Gaff. All right, and we're trying to get to 750 subs. So if you're not a bitch-ass motherfucker, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Scan that QR code right there. That'll make your life better. I almost guarantee it. The second you scan this QR code and subscribe to the channel, your life will instantaneously get better in terms of MMA and boxing. You will start to enjoy combat sports more. You will have better perspectives. You will be cooler to your friends. I'm telling you. Subscribe to the fucking channel, dog. It ain't that hard. It's the click of a motherfucking button. Stop being a bitch. All right? Don't forget to follow our other channels. Main Card Minute, One More Round Fights. That's where we operate at. Saturdays, that's where you catch me. Main Card Minute. Do full card watch-alongs for UFC with Luke, my guy. You may know him from Morning Combat. You may know him from Prop Quiz. You may know me from Prop Quiz. You know what I mean? But again, subscribe to the channels. Be a part of the family. Stop being a bitch. And just for simple housekeeping, because I like to say it this way, Main Card Minute on your left, One More Round Fights on your rights. Shout out to our loan sponsor, W.GG. Use promo code one more round for 10% off. That's promo code one more round for 10% off. And if you got some cool shit to send to the email, and if you have your address so I can send you some gifts, we already got our first one coming out soon to Cosmo Kramer. He just hit me off with the address so we can get him out a nice little one more round fights and main card minute care package, some pins, some stickers, you know, motion, baby, motion. All right. One more round fights at gmail.com. And yeah, man, let's oh yeah. And don't forget to follow the socials. One more round fights everywhere except for X, where it's one more round F8. That's where you can catch me live tweeting and live scoring all the fights throughout the night. I did not do boxing since I was overwhelmed with UFC 325, and I was like, you know what? I think we did enough. We gave the people some nice dogs to go home with. We hit a parlay. We got a green check for the people. You know what I mean? It was a good week for one more round fights. If you pulled up to the locker room, it was a good week for one more round fights. You feel me? I know. I mean, a lot of the parlays, like the fun parlays we crafted, didn't hit because of one leg. I mean, we would have hit a mega parlay if Tai Tuivasa just got his fucking dubber. He didn't. It is what it is. But follow the channels. It'll make your life better. You already fucking know. Stop being a bitch. Let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it. I mean, let's talk about the MMA updates, right? Let's keep ourselves updated. Let's also bring in the chat. Gaff, why are you ignoring the chat? The chat brought us here. The chat is why we are who we are. Who's in this motherfucker? Cosmo. What up, Cosmo? How you feeling, brother? He says, feel like that main event was a waste of time, to be honest, but overall happy Volk got to perform for his people as a champion. Finally, right? The man gets a win in Australia. Holy, it's been forever. Been taking L's. Jeez, defend something, will you? And he finally did. He defended the featherweight belt in Australia. So shout out to Volk. Big win for him and his people. There was never a doubt. He did get dropped at one point in that round 3. We'll talk about it. But yeah, shout out to Volk getting a big win. Christian L in the chat as well. Everyone that's here has a big dick. You already know that. Richland says, I lived and died on Tui last night. Should have cashed out before that fight. I know, right? The parlay was looking sweet already. I think we already touched 4 digits. It might have been 3, but we might have been touching 4 digits already. And then Tui was the last leg to pull it through for like a plus 19, plus 18. And didn't go our way. But it was nice. Malkoon cashed. Louis cashed. So couldn't be mad at that at all. Richland also says, damn, a month in 2025 is already gone. This should be moving. You mean 2026? but yeah, I know what you mean. It's going fast already. I feel like we just got into 2026. I mean, my bad luck was fucking crazy to start off the year. Just hard drive breaks, Xbox breaks, this, that. I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then some good luck happens. You know, we hit a job in Florida. We start hitting parlays. Things are going well now. Things are starting to hit a nice groove. Octopus with No Friends says Dana's brain on drugs, and then here's the egg emoji, the smoke emoji, the Sal Diamato emoji, the smoke emoji, gears grinding, smoke flying. Sal Diamato, you gave Con Awfully a gift, my guy. Sal Diamato, I hope you watch this channel, brother. You gave Con Awfully a motherfucking gift. I want you to know that. Izaz should have won that fight, and you know it. That was crazy, brother. What are we doing? But anyways, let's talk about the MMA updates. That's why I put the fucking lower up, right? All right, let's get into it. First thing, we got a fight cancellation. Let's start off with some bad news. We'll get into some good news after this, but we got some bad news. Brian Ortega is out of his rematch with Renato Moicano at UFC 326, our very next UFC numbered event. I believe that's going to be in Vegas. Am I correct, or was that Miami? Yeah, that was going to be in Vegas. T-Mobile Arena, March 7th, this was going to be. But unfortunately, Brian Ortega is out of the bout. Renato Moicano might get Esteban Ribovic, we're hearing from the shadows. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Still a fun fight, but terrible matchup switch up for Renato Moicano because Ortega, very winnable fight for him. But Esteban Ribovic, very different opponent with a lot heavier hands, in my opinion, and a better chin at this point. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, well, if that matchup does come to fruition, hopefully we get a good bout out of it. Some more bad news, but some kind of good news, but some fun news, but some weird news. Madison Square Garden's threatening a potential lifetime ban following the massive Lopez Stevenson brawls that took place throughout the Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez the Ring 6 fight week. Multiple brawls took place in the crowd, on the side, in multiple locations, and this was a lot of bad blood brewing. And even when it wasn't brawls taking place, it was altercations left and right. So I could understand why Madison Square Garden's probably like, hey, we don't want none of this shit, man. UFC comes here. Actually, even UFC had a brawl there this past New York. Wasn't that when John Pork was punching on what's his name in the crowd, on Dylan Dennis in the crowd? Wasn't that New York? So I mean, I don't know why Madison Square Garden's threatening lifetime bans and shit. I mean, your biggest, well, not your biggest, definitely not your biggest, because I mean, we have the Knicks play there, we have the Rangers play there, we have a bunch of people play there. Not your biggest, but I mean, banning combat sports from Madison Square Garden would be a fucking shot to the heart. I mean, that would be crazy. It's not the worst because I mean, we hold one event there per year in MMA and maybe 2, 3 events there per year in the giant Madison Square Garden. I'm not talking Hulu Theater. It would be a huge hit, and it would be crazy because we don't get a classic venue anymore if they started to ban some of these promotions from putting on events there. But MSG's also you got to know it comes with the territory, brother. This is combat sports. A lot of testosterone going, and sometimes estrogen, but but a lot of testosterone going in there. So yeah, it's gonna happen. Teams don't like each other. That's the reason they're fighting half the time. So yeah, I don't know what this potential lifetime ban bullshit was, but yeah, that wasn't cool to see. Some good news or some bad news, if you want to, however you want to take it. Trump expects 100,000 people in the new stadium for the UFC White House. The latest plans were for roughly 5,000 people to attend the event on the White House lawn. Obviously, you know, aristocrats, oligarchs, kings and queens, royalty, politicians, all of those will be in the 5,000, I assume. And another 85,000 are planned to attend a screening held at the Ellipse, a 52-acre park across the street from the White House. Close enough, you could hear the sounds, and you could watch on the screens. Why not? But again, not too bad. Almost 100,000 people for this. People are going to be just standing out on the streets as well, just trying to catch a glimpse, as they always do with outdoor venues and big events like this. So I'm excited for it, man. People shit all over the White House shit. I'm like, bro, let's make history, man. That's all there is left to do with this UFC shit. We're almost, I feel like we've hit our heights with the Conor era. You know what I mean? At this point, we're kind of just trying to break other records, and that's what even Conor's trying to do. That's why he wants to fight on this card too. He just wants to break records, and this is another event that could break records and do things that have never been done. So I'm not mad at this White House card. Everybody shits on it. I'm excited. Me and Luke might even attend that shit. We might drive down for it. Cover the event. We do have media credentials here. So yeah, we if we are able to pass the screenings and the background checks for this, we will be attending this as media. So we'll see what happens June 14th or whatever. Well, June 14th week. And last but not least on MMA updates, I hate when I say that. PFL's upcoming event in Pittsburgh on March 28th, Pittsburgh, like Wiz Khalifa likes to say, will feature the promotional debut of UFC veterans Ariane Lipski da Silva, former Malka sponsored fighter, and Julio Arce on the main card, not the prelims, the main card. Oh yeah. UFC Pittsburgh, March 28th. We get to see two UFC veterans sharpen their iron and get pretty tough matchups, I'm assuming, in the PFL on the main card. So good signings. Good signings, PFL. I'm excited to see what they do. I mean, good card to debut them on. If anybody knows them, it'll be American fans. So I like that choice, not debuting them on a fucking PFL Europe or a Champion Series in Dubai. I mean, maybe for Ariane Lipski that could have worked, but no, yeah, I like what you're doing with that game plan. But that's it for the MMA updates. Not a lot this week, yo. Not a lot. Everything else pertains to the cards and shit. So, impossible, bro. How dare you, Bortega? Don't do that to him. An awfully nice gift. Yeah. Sal Diamato was giving out gifts at UFC 325. I'm telling you, Brian brain battered Ortega. How dare you, Octopus? Don't do it like that. Cosmo says time for the UFC to cut ties with Ortega. He's cooked and not reliable anymore. I mean, didn't they just march him out with Mackenzie Dern at the red carpet for like 15 seconds? They love him. He ain't going nowhere, brother. he ain't going nowhere. This motherfucker is gonna take the Luke Rockhold round. We're gonna see him in Ralph Lauren ads or some fucking whatever brand, whatever high-end brand is associated with the UFC. We're gonna see Brian Ortega and Mackenzie Dern modeling for them in about 3 years tops. I'll say 3 years tops. 3 years tops. Just watch. We're gonna see both of them and be like, "Oh wow!" And you guys are gonna be like, "Remember when they both walked out?" I mean, like, I remember when I said these motherfuckers would be modeling. I remember that. All right, African American community and Puerto Ricans brawling. I mean, that's always been a thing. The Latinos and the African Americans have always been a thing in boxing. They always clash. Who's had the better boxers? This goes back to the Floyd days. This goes back even further than that. You know what I mean? That's always been a thing. I don't think it strictly came down to race. I think it's been because of things been said over social media, guys thinking they're tough because they don't have fights. And, they're just friends of fighters being loud, just trying to put on for their people. It gets fiery in there. And then somebody talks a little too much shit when they're too close to somebody that they don't realize is on the other side, and then shit pops off. So, it's a normal thing. If you've been to a boxing match, me and the guys, Corey, Luke, we've seen multiple, Tristan, we've seen multiple, Luke, Jake, we've seen multiple fights at boxing events in the crowd. Like, this is a normal thing between fans, between camps. Like, we've seen it in Florida between Isak Cruz's camp and Gervonta Davis's camp. We've seen it between the Diaz camp and whoever was fighting. What the fuck's his name, bro? He was shorter. He fought in the UFC, but he only had like 2 fights. I forget, man. But it happens all the time. So I don't think it just boiled down to just race. It was just two sides. One just happened to be Latino and one just happened to be African American. All right. Octopus No Friend says Brian always overperformed, did better than he deserved to, almost pulled off some crazy wins and had pulled off some crazy wins. Some of our most memorable highlights, even if he didn't get the wins, highlights were Brian Ortega getting pieced up by Max Holloway, Brian Ortega. Volk pulling out of a crazy submission, Brian Ortega. Kickoff submission off the fence on Cub Swanson, Brian Ortega. You know what I mean? Elbow finish into a knee knockout of Clay Guida, Brian Ortega. You know what I mean? Even some of his walks out with a crazy mask with some X's on it, with glowing, that's a highlight the UFC loves to use when they do like fan packages and promos and shit. Yeah, Brian Ortega, that was him. He did that moment. What else? The red carpet moment. Come on. Need I say more? Brian Ortega is the golden boy of the UFC. We just haven't realized it. All right. And I love him too. I love Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega was everyone's favorite fighter until Volk beat his ass. All right. I mean, even after the Max fight. So yeah, he was cool, man. He was throwing up fucking signs, his LA symbol. He had his signature submission, T City. I mean, there's a lot of marketable things about Brian Ortega. I could see why the UFC likes him so much. Trump is out his goddamn mind. And then my hot take is that they won't hold it on the White House grounds. You think it's gonna happen elsewhere and they're gonna bail at some point? I think that's possible if the weather doesn't permit. I mean, DC isn't the best area to hold an outdoor event. If I had my choice, it wouldn't be Hawaii either. It wouldn't be Florida because it rains out of nowhere. It would probably be California. It would probably be California in the summertime at some point. Springtime. Let's go spring because it's kind of cool there in the spring, but could get warm. You know what I mean? Like you might need a hoodie, but you might not need it at all. So you should maybe have a tank top underneath your hoodie. Like that's the type of shit California's on. It's not too wet over there neither. So maybe even Texas too. But Texas gets a little wonky too. It's like more extreme than California. So probably California would be my first choice for an outdoor event in the United States. Florida is a close second, but the chance of flash rain scared the shit out of me there, as is most of the other states. So yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. So it's gonna be interesting. There's a chance it doesn't happen. Who the fuck knows? Let's talk about what actually happened over the weekend, though. Alexander Volkanovski defeats Diego Lopez in the rematch for the second time, back to back, and retains his UFC featherweight championship. Shout out to Alexander Volkanovski. Ties Jose Aldo with 8 title wins at featherweight. It's either 8 defenses or title wins. Either way, Alexander Volkanovski will make history with his very next win as a UFC featherweight champion. So I can't wait. Volk is doing shit we've never seen before. The man's 38 and still going. What? Old Man Volk? I can't wait to see the new Old Man Volk content, bro. I'm gassed. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. You know he's got some shit cooking, especially after that. It's gonna be some Alzheimer's shit because he's gonna be like, I fought him already. And then he's gonna be like, no, you gotta fight him again. I was like, oh, Max? He's like, no, Diego. He's like, what? Like, imagine the Volk content, the Old Man Volk content. It's gonna be so good. Oh, thank you, Volk. Appreciate you giving us that chapter of your career and as a nice meme to have forever. Appreciate that, brother. You're doing great. I mean, a lot of our champions weren't the best on social media, but turned out to be awesome. Think of Marab, think of Volk, think of Valentina. Valentina has bloomed. Think of even Sean Strickland. He's technically a former champion. Like he's bloomed on social media. Like he's everywhere. Arman Saryukian, hopefully a future champion. But yeah, it's great to see his transition. I'm glad to see all the success Volk has had. He's got to defend in his native Australia. I mean, before this, Volk hadn't been doing too well in Australia, I don't think. Let's take a look, shall we? Yeah, a lot of Vegas, Abu Dhabi wins, Jacksonville, Florida wins. He lost in Perth to Islam, you know. He finally got a win. He finally got a win over there, man. Before that, it was before he was a champion. He had a catchweight win over there against Shane Young. He had a TKO win over Yusuke Kasuya. The rest of these fights, though, Brazil, Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi, Florida, Vegas, Florida, and then finally back to Sydney, and he gets himself a win as a champion. So shout out to Volk, man. It was a good moment for everybody because we got more history that can be had. We got to see a good guy win. We got to see somebody that still has lots of challenges at featherweight stay the champion. And a lot of people that were mad about this rematch are justified in thinking so. Because I'm one of those people that's in that school of thought, like, why do we give Diego a rematch so quickly? Like, yeah, he would deserve one with one more win, but I was like, again, so soon? This is Volk's very next fight. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. So I was glad to see that he blanked him even better this time. And it was like, can we stop doing this? Is this a sign to stop doing these immediate rematches? Like, can we let things bloom a little bit more? These guys are the best in the world. They will find each other again at some point. You know what I mean? Like, stop babying this shit. So I would have liked to seen other guys get a first shot before I'd seen Diego get a second shot at this belt. But shout out to Volk. He got the win just like we thought he would. He's going to make history, hopefully. At least we get to see him try it. What's next for both of these guys? That's a great question, isn't it? Well, obviously, I think the best matchup would be the winner of Evloev and Lerone Murphy. But I'm going to get so much shit for saying Lord Murphy right there. I already fucking know it. Oh, man. Somebody's clipping that. They're like, look, this motherfucker said Lord Murphy again. Give her an interview. Give Lord Murphy your interview. Nah, so Lerone Murphy. I think he could beat Evloev. The problem, he's faced this guy before. The problem is he drew with this type of guy last time, arguably in a bout that he probably should have lost against Zubaira Tagugov. That was the last time that Lerone Murphy faced this style. But I think he's faced it before. He saw the mistakes he made last time. A lot of similarities between these guys, and I think from a similar background. So I think Lerone Murphy can come off with the win here. But if Evloev gets the win and we have to see Evloev Volkanovski, we finally get to see Volkanovski face a true grappler. Like a really real grappler. Islam mixes it up very well. And a lot of those fights happened on the feet as, Volk got knocked out on the feet. But like this would be his first true grappler. Yeah, Brian Ortega has jiu-jitsu, but he has to get there. He's not a wrestler. So jiu-jitsu is usually his back pocket item. He's a boxer. And, Max Holloway proved he wasn't really that good at it. And then he fought Max Holloway, striker, Jose Aldo, striker. The last grappler he faced was Chad Mendes, and he passed that test. And Chad Mendes was a boxer at that point as well. Darren Elkins, maybe you could count that, but not at all the level that Evloev is at wrestling. So this would be Alexander Volkanovski's real grappler test. And what a time for it to come at a time where he needs to make history at featherweight. So either one of those matchups, I'll be happy with. Either one of them. Volkanovski versus Murphy, Volkanovski versus Evloev. That's the only matchup that should happen next at featherweight for the belt. I don't want to see Volkanovski go up. I don't want to see a 35er go up. I don't want to see any of that shit. Featherweight is taken at the moment, okay? Taken and happy. All right? So stay away, bantamweights. Stay away, lightweights. All right? Get the fuck out of here. And as for Diego Lopez, bro, let's finally get this fucking grudge match with Yair, please. Can we fucking do this? We've been hearing about this bullshit since Noche for the longest time. Can we do this? I'm tired of seeing the fucking stupid clips of these guys arguing with nothing behind it. I want to see Yair and Diego Lopez. Okay? That's what I want next. And if not, if we're going to do the same route that happens when everybody loses a rematch to Volkanovski, you kind of give him a slight mix it up, kind of slight layup guy at featherweight. No offense to this guy, but Arnold Allen, Diego Lopez. A chance for Arnold Allen to get himself back in the mix and a chance for Diego Lopez to get himself a nice solid win in the top 7-8 of featherweight. So those are the matchups I see for both of those guys. Shout out to Volk. Champ stays a champ, and still. What happened on UFC 325, though? Shit. What happened? A lot. Some sad things happened. Some good things happened. Volk did beat Diego Lopez. 49, 46, 49, 46, 50, 45, But Benoit Saint-Denis defeats Dan Hooker by TKO round 2, 4 minutes and 45 seconds It was tough, man. Dan Hooker was looking good in round one. He was stopping all the takedowns. He was landing some shots, kicking to the body. Nice little teeps right up the middle. Hurting Benoit Saint Denis. He didn't like those. But then BSD started layering in takedowns with unorthodox striking and clinch striking. Some knees in there. Going to the body with the knees, then coming up top, hurting Dan Hooker, dropping Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker trying to reverse with some guillotines as BSD takes him down. BSD gator rolling out like a fucking Florida croc. It was crazy. Or gator. But yeah. Dan Hooker loses by TKO, just gets ground and pounded. Unable to get up from a position after selling out for some takedowns and some takedown defenses, and just didn't have any more energy at the end of round two. BSD stayed heavy on top, had the referee pull him off. Mauricio Hoofy, Fighting Nerds, baby. Yeah, you know why I put that shirt on? You know I got that Prada shit. Yeah, Gene Silva just vomited as I did that. If Gene Silva was watching this, he just puked all over himself. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, I don't fuck with that guy. You heard the beef. Gene Silva unfollowing him. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's fake. I don't know what's going on at Fighting Nerds. If he's going back, if he's staying with Volk's camp, I don't know what's happening. Either way, I'm wearing this shirt in solidarity. My boy Mauricio Hoofy. Shout out to all my One Piece fans as well. I've been watching One Piece. Currently, I think I'm at episode 538. We're a little over halfway there, guys. I'm catching up. I'm about 400 something episodes away. Maybe 5 at this point. But yeah. Hoofy defeats Rafael Fiziev via TKO. Punches. Round 2, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Fiziev was looking all right. Hoofy was just the longer fighter, much bigger in there, it seemed, had the longer stance. He was eating some leg kicks from Fiziev, but then Hoofy started to land. He started to land a lot of his crosses. He was landing his threes on his exit, circling off to the three side. He was having his most success out of orthodox, so it was his left hook having the best work. And then he was making Fiziev pay when he wanted to try to land a combination. He did it again in round 2, made him pay with a big shot, hurt him. Fiziev tried everything to stay in the fight, tried to wrestle, tried to do everything, but too many shots were landing from Hoofy, and the referee had to pull him off. Hoofy gets the TKO. Shout out to Mauricio Hoofy. I don't even remember his last name, bro. His name's Mauricio Hoofy to me. I have no idea. Was it Almeida or some shit? I don't know. Towson Teixeira defeats our boy, Tai Tuivasa. Why? Tui, no. Why, Tui? Unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Man, Tui was coming back in that round 3, though. He was landing some shots. He was trying to finish the fight, but it wasn't enough. The judges gave it to Towson Teixeira. I mean, Tui showed some fight, but I can't imagine a 6-fight L streak at heavyweight will have the bosses wanting to keep you around. I mean, the man literally hasn't gotten a win since 2022. It was over Derek Lewis, but the other guys that he has wins over, none of them are in the UFC anymore. Stefan Struve, Harry Hunsucker, Greg Hardy, Augusto Sakai. It's only Derek Lewis, and how long is he for? Andrei Arlovsky's no longer here. He's doing other shit and BKFC and shit like that. Cyril Asker, Rashad Coulter. None of these guys are in the UFC anymore. So I can't imagine that they keep Tai Tuivasa for too long. If they do, it's one last go because of a contract thing, in my opinion. But we've seen him cut people for less. And I love Tai Tuivasa. I had this motherfucking Air Force One ready to do a shoey out of if he'd have won. I had a towel on the floor and my Air Force One right here. And guess what happened? Motherfuckers dried this morning. We didn't get to do it. We did not get to do it. So, unfortunately, Ty, we loved you. Your run was immaculate. You had some of the most fun moments in the UFC. You made heavyweight fun again. Shout out to Tattoo Ivasa. I love you, buddy. I love you, but this might have been our last go. This might have been our last corral. Sad to see. Quillian Salkill defeats Jamie Malarkey via submission, rear naked choke, round 1, 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Shout out to the young Aussie. He gets it done. Usually Malarkey loses by TKO. He decided to take the submission route this time. Quillian Salkill showing he has multiple ways to finish a fight. Shout out to him, showing many wrinkles in his game. He's going to be a fun lightweight to watch. Billy Elicana defeats Junior Tafa via submission, rear naked choke, round 2, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Shout out to him. Tafa looking pretty good, even dropping Elicana in round 1, but Billy Elicana showing his heart, showing his grit, showing his toughness, showing how well-rounded he is. Ends up getting the back of Junior Tafa, getting that rear naked choke, sicking it in, and he gets the dubber. Cam Rouston defeats Cody Brundage via TKO, ground and pound, round 2, 4 minutes and 8 seconds. Cody Brundage made a good account of himself in a loss as well, hurting Cam Rouston. I think he even dropped him at one point, had him bloodied, bruised up. But then Cam Rouston just had so much energy to him, kept sticking Cody Brundage with some punches, some knees up the middle, and he eventually gets the ground and pound KO and TKO. Jacob Malkoun defeats Torres Finney via unanimous decision. There was a suspected injury from Torres Finney during the fight and even before the fight with his knee. Didn't go too well for him. He ended up going and continuing with the fight. He ends up losing a unanimous decision to Jacob Malkoun, 30-27, 30-26, 30-26. Jonathan McCaleb defeats Oban Elliott via technical submission, rear naked choke, round 2, 3 minutes and 31 seconds. McCaleb was getting pieced up by Oban Elliott. Oban was looking pretty good on the feet. He was definitely hurting his opponent, had him bloodied and bruised as well. McCaleb starting to have to resort to his backup game plans, trying to get Oban Elliott to the ground, finally does so. Sinks in a rear naked. Oban really trying his very best to stay out of the submission and stay in the fight, trying everything, peeling off the arms. Couldn't do it in the end. Ends up taking a little nap. Goes to sleepies. Technical submission. Jonathan McCaleb gets a big win. Shout out to him and his team. Khan Ofley gets a gift from Sal D'Amato and defeats Yiza via majority decision. 29-28, 28-28, 29-28. I'm going to keep it $150. Khan Ofley lost this fight, brother. I didn't see him win. I don't think I saw him win a round. I didn't think he won round 1. He got he had a couple takedowns. He stayed on top, but the damage was on the side of Yiza. He was trying everything he could to keep Yiza's punches off of him. Yiza beat the brakes off of him in round 2, dropped him twice, maybe even 3 times, completely and utterly beat him on every single stat in that round. I think he even took him down that round as well. But yeah, dropped him, multiple significant strikes, beat him on total strikes. That should have been a 10-8 round, in my opinion. And then round 3, I think he still even beat him. In round 3, it was a closer round 3, but I still think he beat him in round 3. And somehow the man loses the fight. So I got a feel for Yiza. Khan Ofley got a little gift and some home cooking. He gets a majority decision win. Damar Fan defeats Seungwoo Kim via unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. He wins the road to UFC featherweight tournament. Shout out to him, man. I didn't think he had it. I thought Seungwoo Kim was going to catch him in a sub. I thought that was his kryptonite, but he got out of a lot of the takedown attempts, had him on his back multiple times, but circled off, got back to his feet, landed the better strikes. Damar Fan put on a great performance and showed that he's just as good as the guys that beat him on this card. So Damar Fan, shout out to you, brother. Big win. Former opponent of Killing Sal Killed. Shout out to my guy Kenshiro Nakamura. He defeats Sebastian Zayas via TKO with a big knee. Round 3, 3 minutes and 48 seconds. He wins the road to UFC featherweight tournament as well. Okay. But Nakamura losing the fight in round 1 and 2, a little slower, but I knew he had the power. 6 of his 7 wins to that point had come by TKO, so he was still in the fight. Zayas started leaning with his head more as he was tired in round 3. Nakamura times it, lands that big knee, knocks him completely out, and wins the tournament with a miraculous comeback TKO win. Shout out to Nakamura with a big dubber. Makes me look like a genius. My My dog lock of the week was Nakamura, and it proved to be correct. Shout out to anybody that cashed on the coming to the locker room this week. It was well worth it. Gave you guys a couple dogs to start off the car with some little bet money right there, and you got hopefully things worked out for you. We also cashed on a regular parlay, so hopefully things worked out for you there as well. Lawrence Louis defeats Sulong Rangbo via split decision, 29-28, 28-29, 29-28. He wins the Road to UFC Bantamweight tournament. And guess what? CKB gets themselves a nice win. Good night for CKB on the card. Only a couple of their guys didn't get it done. But yeah, big win. He was also a big dog as well. I think he was like a plus 250 when it ended up being all said and done. But shout out to Lawrence Louis. Big win there. Good striker. Can mix it up with his wrestling when he needs to. Solid mixed martial arts win. If you're wondering who got the $100,000 bonuses, it was Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez in a fight of the night. Each of those men receiving $100,000. And for the performance of the nights, it was Quillen Scull for his submission of Jamie Malarkey and Mauricio Hulfi for his TKO of Rafael Fiziev. Each of those men receiving $100,000 for their performances. For the other finishes on the card, Nakamura should receive $25,000 for his TKO of Zalai. Cam Rouston should receive $25,000 for his TKO of Cody Brundage. Billy Elikana should receive $25,000 for his submission win over Junior Tafa. And BSD should receive $25,000 for his TKO win over Dan Hooker. Those are the performance bonuses of the night for UFC 325. And that completes my coverage of MMA for this past week. Appreciate you mofos. Oh, John Ray pulling up. Gifts of one more round membership. Let's go. And then Richland rolled up my first one of the day. Cheers to you, Richland. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you for pulling up. And thank you, John Ray. Guess who gets the membership? Rick Marin gets the membership. Rick Marin, welcome to the channel. Enjoy. You're probably going to cash and your life's going to get better. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Enjoy life, man. It's only going to get better from here. You hit the gold mine. All right. And Cosmo says, what would you rate the card? Out of 10. I mean, we got some finishes. We didn't get the moments that we wanted, but it ended up being nice. If I can be honest, lots of decisions. And the TKOs weren't the best, but they were TKOs. You know, a couple ground and pounders. We did get Nakamura's KO, and we did get Hoofy's KO. I'm gonna give it a B. A solid B. No minus, no plus, just straight up B. Right there. Right there. We got a Nakamura KO, which is what made this a B, to be honest, for me. That's pretty much what brought it there. We got some controversy, you know, the Ease Out Awfully fight. You always need that in a decent card, you know. What do we got some new prospects, you know. Cameron Rouston, Elikana proved that he can weather a storm. You know, that's nice to see. Killen Sal killed, proved that he has more wrinkles to his game. Taliesin Teixeira proved he's not, you know, a loss at heavyweight. So that's okay. We got to see Ty, you know, bang, and we got some moments out of him. You know, Hoofy got a nice signature TKO win over somebody that's really hard to TKO. That's, you know, that's nice. BSD got a win over Hooker, and then we ended it with Volkanovski getting a win, even though it was a decision, but it was 50-45. We didn't have to sweat it too bad. And the Road to UFC fights weren't too bad. Yeah, I'll give it a B. I won't go higher than that, though. I don't think it deserves a B+. I'm going to give it a B. Keep it nice and tight. That's what we're rocking with. Richland says, who won Tapology? I'm about to look. I forget who, but it was, oh yeah, Christian L. It was Christian L. Thank you, Cosmo. It was Christian L. Yeah, I think Luke came in 6th and I came in 7th. So not too bad. But I should have just put Volk decision, bro. I don't know why I put the TKO round 4. I tried to be weird and artsy. I don't know what the fuck I did that for. Should have just put that decision down. Should have just put that decision down. It is what it is. It is what it is. Gaffey took 7th place. Thank you, Richland. Yeah. Let's talk about. Oh yeah, no fighter spotlight this week. I know I keep saying this shit. I know, but I'm not doing Sal Killed. And then what else was I gonna do? Taliesin Teixeira, Cam Rouston, Jacob Malkoon, Mikhailov, Con Hoffley in a fight he didn't really win, and some road to UFC guys like Hoofy's too established, and these other guys, like, it just didn't make sense. And then I didn't want to do my first boxing one as Shushu Carrington. So no fighter spotlight this week. But I was thinking about Shushu Carrington. I'm not going to lie. I was this close to doing Shushu Carrington because he is from Brooklyn. But I didn't want to do that as my first boxing one. So, yeah, we're going to hold that off. We're going to hold that off one more week. Plenty of opportunity next week. For a fighter spotlight. Wang Kong, the Basharats. It could be a Basharat double feature. You feel me? You never know. Could be Gene Matsumoto. Could be Oleg Sejcik. Could be Kuniev. If Kuniev could get some shit done, imagine Kuniev gets the job done. We could start talking about him. You know what I mean? I think I did Mario Bautista low-key. I might have done Mario Bautista in the early times. And I think I did Vinicius too. I might have done Vinicius Oliveira as well. But yeah. And then if not, we still got PFL next week too. There's some PFL ability there. Shamil Masayev, Ramazan Nurmagomedov, Denise Kieltz, Taylor Lapilus. That would be a crazy one to do. I don't think I'd do Lapilus, but yeah, there's opportunities for fighter spotlight next week, but none this week. Oh, I missed a lot of comments here. Winning last night has been the highlight of my year so far. Not even joking. Shout out to that. Let's go, Cristiano. I mean, you got to start off somewhere. That's the first win on the way up. I was there too, bro. A few weeks ago, everything was going wrong. The hard drive broke. Couldn't go live. The Xbox broke. Shit was going left. You know what I mean? So, shit'll turn around. That's the first step. Cosmo also says only 100 points separated 1st through 12th. Oh shit. Oh, Christian is here. Shout out to Christian Ellis, Richland. And then somebody from Kick hops in there. Let's promote me, bro. Do it for free if you're hopping in the chat. Christian Ellis says, thanks, Richland. Appreciate you, brother. And then Richland says, I hope you had some parlays to go with your picks. You killed it. Let's go, baby. And then Gaff is 1st through 2 events on Tapology. I mean, guys, is this a surprise? If I didn't miss like 5 events on Tapology last year, I probably would have took 1st. Let's be honest here. I probably would have took 1st if I didn't miss 5 events. I still was like 11th. All right. I missed like 5-6 events. Okay. I should have took 1st last year. I'm coming for the fucking crown. I'm on it. I'm fucking on it this year. I'm not letting my crown slip away again, all right? I am him when it comes to this MMA and boxing shit, all right? Don't you forget it. I'm coming. I'm like Jose in prop quiz. I am him for MMA and boxing picks, all right? Don't you forget it. That's why you guys come here. Let's talk about some boxing over the weekend now that we're talking about it. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson fall on the ring 6. The ring 6. Madison Square Garden. Okay. I'm gonna probably put a Jackie Chan thing there. Madison Square Garden. But yeah. I was rooting for my boy Teo, man, but Jersey got us this time. Jersey got us. Just like they stole our pizza, they stole this. No, I'm kidding. Ain't no steals happening here. Shakur Stevenson put on a masterclass. I watched this entire bout start to finish, and the only round that I gave to Teofimo Lopez was round 8. This was a blankety blank across the board. Shakur Stevenson absolutely proved that he is the best super lightweight in the world. He defeats Teofimo Lopez via unanimous decision, 119-109 across the board, and he is your WBO super lightweight champion. Shakur Stevenson. Defense was a premium. Multiple times on the broadcast, they said his defense was impregnable, and that was the perfect way to describe his approach to defeating Teofimo Lopez. I mean, he had Lopez scarred up and bloodied. His left eye was gushing by the end of this fight. I actually was concerned that we'd get some weird referee bullshit with the referee stepping and having the doctor check it in round 11 or 12, but they didn't do that. They let the fight continue, and Shakur Stevenson gets a decision win. So shout out to Shakur Stevenson. He looked absolutely fantastic. Training with guys like Bud Crawford your entire career does actually make you one of the best in the world. And I don't think we ever doubted that. The Williams Zepeda fight did make us a little confused as to, is this guy really as good as we think he is? And this fight was his fight to prove, yes, I am as good as you didn't think I am, but I am. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people never put Shakur in that conversation. And now I believe he is the best out of all of those guys that we used to talk about. I'm not going to name names, but he was left out of the conversation multiple times, all the time. He was always the fourth or fifth guy out, was never mentioned with those other guys. And turns out he is probably the best out of all those guys. All those guys, all the former kings of bantamweight. So, yeah, man, especially with how he's been the only one keeping a good head on his shoulders and not getting into any controversies, not doing anything to ruin his image or anything like that. So, man, Shakur really leaping into those pound for pound rankings after a performance like this. I can't wait to see where these guys score him. I don't know if he leapfrogs our boy Bam Rodriguez. I don't know if he leapfrogs Inoue after that performance. I don't know if they just put him under those guys or if anything happens. I don't think he leapfrogs Inoue, if we're being honest. But I think he might even leapfrog Bam Rodriguez after that one. I might put him at 3. I might be putting Shakur at 3 right now after that one. That was a performance of performances, man. That was some of the best boxing and defensive boxing I've seen in quite some time. I mean, he only gave Teofimo round 8, and that might have been his rest round. It looked like he was resting. His output was very low that round as well. So shout out to Shakur Stevenson. What a freaking dubber, man. Holy crap. Gaff, realize when you win, we win. I literally tail your bets. Let's go. Let's go. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it was a good weekend for us. The one more round parlay cash. It wasn't us for boxing, unfortunately. Gerald Miller got his toupee knocked off. So didn't win our TKO like we needed to. But yeah. Oh, and Richland says his jab was clean. Probably, if not the best jab in boxing, the second best. But Shakur Stevenson's jab was on point. That thing tore up the left eye of Teofimo Lopez Jr. That was, it was clean, Richland. Pause. I just realized that. And then Octopus with No Friends says Shakura. But yeah, elsewhere on this card, at super lightweight, Keyshawn Davis defeats Jermaine Ortiz via 12th round TKO. I mean, he was running away with this fight from the beginning. Keyshawn Davis looked fantastic, as he always does, landing the power shots, hurting Ortiz to the body, hurting him, dropping him. Keyshawn Davis looked fantastic. Keyshawn Davis is also one of those guys that's calling a lot of these guys out, and I'm not surprised that he was on the undercard of this bout. It could be what's next for Shakur Stevenson. You never know. This was a super lightweight fight. So I would love to see Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson. That's a fun fight. Can Shakur play the same type of style against Keyshawn Davis? If Keyshawn Davis employs the same style that Williams Zepeda employed, very tough style to employ, but if he does do that, can he make it a real tough fight for Shakur Stevenson? I mean, Keyshawn Davis might be the toughest fight out there for Shakur Stevenson right now. So Keyshawn Davis, great performance. You needed that type of win. A decision probably wouldn't have put you in this conversation, but getting a late TKO like that, skyrockets you up there. Well done. At WBC featherweight for the title, my boy Bruce Shushu Carrington, Brooklyn, stand up. He defeats Carlos Castro via 9th round KO. This was a tough fought battle, man. Carlos Castro proved he was out there ready to fight. He was actually putting it on Bruce. It was tough in those middle rounds for Bruce. He was getting hurt. He was getting caught. He was eating a lot of those punches. Carlos Castro proved he was here to fight. He was here to try to win this bout. But Bruce Carrington lands the nice shots, accumulative punches, and gets him out of there. Bruce Shushu Carrington gets it done in New York at Madison Square Garden. New York, you got your boy. You got it done. We did it. Let's go. He wins the WBC featherweight title. Shout out to Bruce. Shout out to Shushu. Shout out to his team. Appreciate that dubber, and that performance was fantastic. Shows that he could come back from adversity. Hell yeah. Let's go. And at heavyweight, we talked about it earlier. Jarrell Miller gets his toupee knocked off by Kingsley EBay, but comes out with a split decision win. The scorecards were 94-96, 97-93, 97-93. I mean, Kingsley hit him with a right cross so hard that his fucking toupee flapped off, and then ends up throwing it into the crowd. The crowd goes crazy in that moment. It was probably the most fun moment of the bout, if I could be honest. I mean, we had two knockout artists go in there, and they just simply boxed. I mean, there was some nice power shots thrown at some points, mainly from Kingsley EBay, but not exactly the bout that we wanted out of these two heavyweights. It was closely contested, and yeah, I guess the right guy won. But the most noteworthy moment of this fight was that toupee getting knocked off, and I don't think we'll ever forget that one. I think that was a boxing first. At super middleweight, Austin Williams defeats my Haitian brother, Vandy Toussaint, via unanimous decision, 98-91, 99-90, 99-90. I mean, shout out to Wandy. He came out here, very short notice bout. Austin Williams' original opponent was Carlos Adames. Carlos Adames pulls out of the fight, and Wandy takes it on one night's notice, comes in, weighs in, gives his best, but didn't quite have the ammo or the gas tank to get it done. Austin Williams defeats Wandy in a unanimous decision. At super lightweight, Kevin Castillo defeats Ziad Amouf via unanimous decision, 78-73, 77-74, 77-74, and that completes my coverage of Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson, a.k.a. The Ring 6. Okay, Cosmo says, my hot take is they won't hold it on the White House grounds. And then he also says, Parlay Pals on Boys in the Back cashed 4-leg plus 210 parlay finally after weeks of losing. Weeks? Damn. At least I provide a green check at least once every 2 weeks. They lose for weeks and people tail? Weeks? Oh, weeks? Damn. All right. Weeks? Oh, let's talk about the cash, shall we? I mean, look at that, baby. Low plus 185, BSD, over 1.5 in the Fazeev Houfi fight. Billy Elikana, Cam Rouston gave that to the people. Cash at plus 185. I'll be posting that right after this stream. So, you know what we do over here. This is normal over here. You're going to get a green check from me, whether it's on boxing or I'm talking my shit after the first green check of the year. Oh, man. At least it happened in January, Today's February, but it happened in January, all right? Technically, the card ended before midnight, so count it. So we got a green check in January. Shout out to our boys that got it done there. Let's talk about the other boxing that happened. Let's quickly talk about it. We're not going to spend crazy amount of time, but we had another Zayas decision win. He wins the WBA and WBO super welterweight titles. He defeats Abass Baraou via split decision, 116-112, 116-112, 112-116. I believe he deserved to win this bout. I mean, Zayas does what he normally does. He tries to land his power shot, stays on the outside, stays long, and controls the fight. Xander Zayas deserved to win this bout, and I think it was a little weird on the scorecards, but I think he absolutely deserved to win this fight. At super welterweight, Giovanni Santillan defeats Courtney Pennington via unanimous decision, 98-92, 97-93, 96-94. At middleweight, Yuri Cedeno defeats Etuni Michelle William via unanimous decision, 100-88 across the board. At super flyweight, Juanma Lopez de Jesus defeats Conor Russell Gold via unanimous decision, 60-53 across the board. At super featherweight, Carlos Jamil de Leon Castro defeats Dewey Alguin via 6th round TKO. And at super featherweight, Yadriel Caban Garena defeats Yermis Hernandez Torres via First round KO. Go ahead and watch that finish. That is one that is social media worthy. You didn't expect a super lightweight to have some power like that. You didn't, but he did. So shout out to that card. That was probably the most exciting bout on the entire card, and that's the first one that kicked it off. So yeah. Richland says, I parlayed both low risk together, lost the boxing, KO Miller. Yeah, shout out to Miller, man. The reason I wanted to put him just money line, but he was minus 500, right? And when I had him in the parlay, it was minus 120. And I was like, I hate doing a minus parlay, especially when it's 4 fucking legs. So I had to do the KO, especially when it was heavyweights. And I was just so pissed when he didn't get the KO. I was like, bro, I knew you were going to be the one that fucked it up, bro. It would have cashed if it just wasn't Miller. If it wasn't Miller, it would have cashed. Fucking guy fucked us. It is what it is. It is what it is. Shout out to it is what it is. It is what it is. That's the life we're living. You know, you can't win them all. Can't win them all. That completes my coverage of Xander Zayas. But Upset City. We are now in Upset City because we have a couple upsets on some boxing cards here. Didn't expect it, but the IBF Super Welterweight title was on the line between Bakhram Murtazaliev and Josh Kelly, and Josh Kelly has a performance of his lifetime and upsets Bakhram Murtazaliev. He gets the win via majority decision. The cards were 113, 113, 115, 111, 114, 113. This guy went toe-to-toe with Murtazaliev and took his best shots. He took his best shots, kept coming forward, got some combinations off. Shout out to Josh Kelly. He was talking a big game before this fight, going toe-to-toe, staring his opponent right in the eye, saying, even mocking him at some point, saying, oh, we're going to have a nice little war here. And that's exactly what happened. These boys went toe-to-toe, and he proved he's just as tough as any one of these guys. He walks out with the IBF Super Welterweight title. Shout out to Josh Kelly with a big upset win. I believe he was like a 3-1 upset dog. Yeah. At super featherweight, Josh Padley defeats Jawed Bamedi via second round KO. Go ahead and watch that. For the IBF lightweight title, Alif Nur Turhan defeats Talai Genson via split decision, 93-97, 98-92, 96-94. At heavyweight, Leo Atung defeats Amine Buseda via third round KO. Go ahead and watch that one as well. At lightweight, Josh Biancaron defeats Robbie Coleman via points, 96-95. At bantamweight, Kieran McDonald defeats Marius Vianuskis via points, 40-35. At bantamweight, Lee Rogers defeats Eric Omar Lopez via points, 60-54. And at cruiserweight, Bradley Casey defeats Lee Roberts via points, 40-36. Bakhram Murtazaliev versus Josh Kelly did not disappoint. Did not disappoint. I actually forgot to do my Tapology picks, Christian. I completely forgot. I knew I said I should have done them when I was doing my ones for Luke. And I was like, yo, I'll remember after. I did not remember after. I ended up taking a nap. Yeah, so I kind of fucked up. But I believe, would it be you? Are you winning both, Christian L? Is that why you brought it up? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I missed the picks in my own league. That's actually hilarious. But I think Luke even did that a couple times. So I can't be faulted. I can't be faulted. It happens. It happens sometimes, you know. It is what it is. So you can't win them all. Sometimes you can. I just don't. All right. I just don't. That's just not how I operate, I guess. And the last upset. The last upset that we'll talk about. Jacob Bank and William Scull went head-to-head this weekend. And guess what? The WBO Global Super Middleweight title was on the line. Jacob Bank defeats William Scull via 12th round TKO. 20 seconds were left on the clock, guys. He dropped him earlier in the fight. I believe it was like round 6 or something like that. Kept on him, stayed busy, landed his shots, and right at the end of the fight, overwhelmed him with a barrage of strikes and takes him out in the 12th round. The referee stops the bout. He stops the contest. All right. Jacob Bank with a performance beating William Scull. William Scull's last fight was against Canelo, and that was a decision. Jacob Bank takes him out in round 12. Shout out to Jacob Bank with an absolutely ginormous win. He wasn't that much of a dog. He was only like a plus 125 dog or something like that. But still, dog money cashed on Jacob Bank. Shout out to him with a big win. Elsewhere in the card, Dina Thorsland takes the WBC interim featherweight title via 10-round decision over Amador Alvarez, 100 to 90, 99 to 91, 99 to 91. Thorsland moves to 24-0. Oliver Zarin gets a controversial KO win over David Benavidez after a disputed knockdown. 40 seconds into round 2, the fight ended inconclusively. Zarin moves to 19-0. Casas Nanga stops Vlad Bajewski at 2 minutes and 27 seconds of round 6 after 3 knockdowns. 3 knockdown rule. The slow breakdown raised questions, but Nanga wins and he goes to 14-0. Pasqua Baril outpoints Maher Khatib over 8 rounds, and then Melissa Mortensen defends her EBU silver belt against Tori Ellis Willits with a knockdown and a points win on the judges' scorecards. And that's it for Jacob Bank and William Scull. Cristiano says, I honestly don't know. I gotta check actually. Wait, there's 2 leagues. Yeah, Richland, you gotta look in the description of this actual stream right now. You'll see the Tapology League. Hit it. I just gotta approve you once you join, but we do for boxing and PFL over here. And we have a PFL coming up next week, guys. February 7th. Doubleheader. We got UFC and PFL. It's gonna be a long Saturday for you, boy. But yeah, there's 2 leagues. And Richland says, I am just in the main card minute one. You got to go look in the description. Click down there. You'll see it. Tapology League. We got one for boxing and PFL now. So don't forget to join, guys. Don't forget to join. Let's talk about the upcoming boxing slate, huh? Let's talk about the upcoming boxing schedule real quick. I did a full overview. We're just going to do a quick one this week. I did a full one last week. Guys, if you don't already know, Zuffa Boxing tonight, 6 p.m. Main card starts at 9. Jose Valenzuela's taking on Diego Torres, 10 rounds at lightweight. Sergey Bohacic's taking out Rabza Butayev, 10 rounds at middleweight. And Radzovic Kazajic is taking on Alexander Gojovic, 10 rounds at light heavyweight. Zuffa Boxing. This is Zuffa Boxing 2. Okay, Paramount Plus. Don't forget, tonight. February 7th, Liverpool, England, on DAZN. Nick Ball, Brandon Figueroa, 12 rounds for Ball's WBA featherweight title. February 21st, in Las Vegas, on DAZN, Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia, 12 rounds for Barrios' WBC welterweight title. Also, Gary Antoine Russell's on the card. Also, my Haitian brother, Richardson Hitchens, on the card. Frank Martin also on the card as well. Also on February 21st, Josh Warrington and Leigh Wood fighting in Nottingham, England on DAZN. So don't forget that. Sandy Ryan also on that card. The GWOAT, Claressa Shields, defending her women's heavyweight title in Detroit on DAZN. Okay. February 22nd. And to end the month on February 28th, Emmanuel Navarrete and Eduardo Nunez, 12 rounds for Navarrete's WBO junior lightweight title. And Emiliano Vargas is also on that card in Glendale, Arizona on DAZN. And in Verona, New York on Amazon Prime Video, don't forget, we got Elijah Pierce and Lorenzo Parra, 10 rounds of featherweight. That's the last day of February. And that is it for the boxing slate. Also some fights in March. The biggest one in March, Moses Atoma, Jermaine Franklin, the rescheduled fight. And then we have Tyson Fury fighting in April on Netflix. Don't forget that. Okay? So that does it for the upcoming boxing slate. And then Richland says, okay, I'm locked in. All right, I'll approve you after the stream. I got you, Richland. And then upcoming MMA schedule. You guys wanted it? I give it to you so you guys can keep up with what's happening next. I know I'm one of those people that can't really keep nothing but the card ahead of me. So this will actually help me as well. It'll keep me on task at hand and everything. We got a doubleheader this week, guys. February 7th at the Meta Apex. UFC Fight Night, Bautista versus Oliveira, otherwise known as UFC Vegas 113. I believe it's UFC Fight Night 266. I believe. I'm going to stop saying I believe. Martin Luther King Day was a couple days back, but we are in Black History Month, so shout out to Black History Month. Let's go, February. They gave us the shortest month. It is what it is. We'll take what we can get. Also in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, we have Nurmagomedov taking on Davis. We finally get to unify the lightweight titles in the PFL. Usman Nurmagomedov and Alfie Davis in Dubai, PFL this weekend, February 7th. Then we have UFC Fight Night, Bautista Oliveira. Oh, yeah, we got a fat MMA slate this coming week. And then we get a break. No Valentine's Day cards. None in boxing, none in MMA. The gods were good to us. They were like, guys, go hang out with your girlfriends, okay? Go hang out. We got nothing on Valentine's Day this year. No MMA, no boxing. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Go spend some money, okay? That's what they're saying. So we got nothing on the 14th. Guys, I'm not going to be doing no streams. I'm not even going to have a CPU. It's nothing. We're chilling that week. We're enjoying. Maybe a matchmaker on like Monday or something like that, but nothing that week for me. All right. Matchmaker Monday tomorrow. Don't forget about that. Matchmaker Monday tomorrow. As well as where are we at now? So nothing on the 14th. Then in MMA, we have the 21st in Houston, Texas. We have UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Hernandez. That's February 21st, Houston, Texas. That is a fight night. February 28th, the last day of the month, also the very same day that we have a doubleheader in boxing with Navarrete and Nunez with Elijah Pierce and Lorenzo Parra on Amazon Prime Video. We have UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Almabayev. Yes, that is Brandon Moreno. He's taking on Asu Almabayev in Mexico City, Mexico, February 28th in the UFC flyweight main event. Okay. March 7th in Las Vegas, Nevada, UFC 326. We have Holloway versus Oliveira 2. Okay, I heard that fight's in jeopardy. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. That's what's supposed to be happening. So that's March 7th, Las Vegas, Nevada. March 14th at the Meta Apex, UFC Fight Night, we have Josh Emmett taking on Kevin Vallejos. That's right. Big matchup for Kevin Vallejos taking on a veteran at featherweight. Huge step up in competition from Giga Shikadze, in my opinion. We'll see if he can get it done. These are two big, short, stocky strikers. We'll see if Vallejos can get a TKO. Josh Emmett, really hard to finish. Even our champion couldn't do it. Ilya couldn't do it. So, yeah. Last but not least, March 20th in Madrid, Spain, we have the return of PFL. This will be their very next card after this PFL Dubai. PFL Madrid, it's Van Steenis versus Edwards 2. That is March 20th. And that is the entire MMA slate that you care about right now. We're not talking about one championship. We're not talking about Ryzen. If you want to talk about Ryzen, I mean, we could talk about Ryzen if you want. We could. Should we? Should we? I mean, they have a March 7th card. Ryzen 52. We already talked about it. Patchy Mix headlining the card. Featherweight. Okay, he's taking on Kiyomo Akimoto. Other people that might interest you on the card. Luis Gustavo is on the card. Shout out to Luis Gustavo out of Brazil. Shout out to Patchy Mix and Kiyomo Akimoto. Shout out to Patchy and Akimoto, all right? That's all. That's it. Shout out to Patchy and Kiyomo Akimoto. That's all I'm going to say. And then we have a bunch of one Friday fights and fight nights. I'm not even going to go through them, bro. I'm not even going to go through them. We have a shit ton of them, okay? Don't worry about anything for a while for one championship, if unless you like those Friday night fights. Those will be going along every single week, every single Friday at Lumpini Boxing Stadium in Bangkok, Thailand, okay? Every single week, they got you. One Friday fights, go ahead. You could probably find it somewhere on Prime, depending on what country you're in. But yeah, that's all they got for you. But that's it. That's the upcoming MMA schedule. And last but not least, before we get up on out of here, we got picks for the week. We're not doing the social media segment this week. We had a big, fat, jam-packed show today. So we're just going to talk about our last 4 picks, and we're going to get up on out of here. Picks on UFC Vegas. 113. This is Bautista versus Oliveira. I like Bautista, man. I seen Bautista give Umar Nurmagomedov fucking hell. I think he could beat a guy like Vinicius Oliveira. So I like Mario Bautista. Every time I back this guy, we get fucked. But every time I don't back this guy, we get fucked. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he can pull off the dub. Mario Bautista, Sean O'Malley, same camp. Sean O'Malley looked great in his last fight, coming back in the latter rounds, finally getting some of that takedown defense figured out. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I like Mario Bautista. I'm rolling with my Asians again, man. I'm rolling with my Asians. Kyoji Horiguchi, I'm rocking with him. I think he's going to make a big splash here in the UFC. I expect this should be a win that gets him a title shot. Kyoji Horiguchi, I'm rocking with my guy, and I'm rocking with Wang Kong. Wang Kong, she burned us before. I don't think it'll happen again, okay? Wang Kong, we're rolling with our girl, Wang Kong. Shout out to my peoples on UFC 113. Yes, we will have a CP units later this week. Hopefully I can get the Xbox, the real one, fixed by then, or at least taking a look at. But yeah. Those are the picks on UFC Vegas 113. Picks on PFL Dubai. Nurmagomedov versus Davis. I mean, father's plan. You guys already know the first words going to come out of my mouth when a Nurmagomedov is in there. Father's plan. All right. If a Nurmagomedov name is in there, father's plan, that's all you need to hear. Alfie Davis, beautiful performance against Gadzi Rabadnov. Do you think Usman is going to let the same thing happen to him when his countryman, when somebody that's literally in his camp just faced you last? Brother, I'm going with Usman. I'm going with Usman Nurmagomedov. Other two names, I like Shamil Masayev, man. Shamil Masayev, heavy hitter. I think he could somehow get a KO here. I'm going to be backing Shamil Masayev. And then Denise Kielholtz. We always rock with Denise. 125er, I believe. Denise Kielholtz, solid kickboxer, solid career. She's done a lot of good things, fought a lot of good girls. I think she could get a win here. So those are my three that I'll give out for now. You guys obviously wait till next week for the picks, and I'll drop them on Friday. I won't be doing boxing picks next week, but I will be doing a PFL parlay and a UFC parlay. Okay, so those I will not be dropping a boxing one. I only do the boxing ones for the big cards. Okay. Picks on Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa. We have a boxing card next week, y'all. We do. This is going to be too close to call. Brandon Figueroa, very solid. He comes forward, gets in your face, steals rounds on activity and being the one pushing the action. Comes forward with that Mexican style boxing, forehead to forehead, just eating you up to the body with uppercuts and hooks. Nick Ball, a little bit more on the outside. He is undefeated, so I like that. Brandon Figueroa does have decision losses to Stephen Fulton. I think this fight goes the distance. I think that's the best bet here. If I was making a parlay, that would be my last leg for it. I'm going to go with Nick Ball and fight goes the distance. So Ball decision and fight goes the distance. Second to last, I have Gonzalez decision. So that's going to be my second to last bet that I'm putting. And then last but not least, guys, we have Zuffa Boxing tonight, 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern starts the card. My picks, Valenzuela. I like TKOs across the board. Okay. I think this one's going to be an exciting Zuffa Boxing. I feel like they didn't like what they did last time. That's why they have these heavy hitters on this one. Zuffa Boxing 2. I think TKOs across the board. Valenzuela TKO. His opponent, his only loss was to Raymond Murtazaliev, who we backed last week. So I think Valenzuela could get the TKO here. I like a Sergey Bohachik TKO. The last time that he lost, he came back and knocked his opponent out in his very next fight, Ishmael Davis. He knocked him out. So I think Sergey Bohachik's going to come back angry after his loss, his decision loss in his last fight. And Gajovic. I think I'm going to just keep the theme of the night with TKOs here. 17 of his 21 wins are by TKO. So I'm rocking with him. And that's it, guys. That's the end of the show. Appreciate everybody that pulled up today. Appreciate you all in the chat. Appreciate everybody showing love to the show always. And, the community's been great. Christian L., Tanner, all these guys, showing why we created this community. Richland Ford, appreciate you coming through. Cosmo Kramer, Octopus with No Friends. Mock Luke, Christian L., always. Cosmo, Richland, John Ray, appreciate you for gifting that membership. Welcome to the community. Who was it that got added to the community? Where was it? Welcome to the community, Rick Marin. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you like the content. What else here before I get out of here? And everybody else, if I missed you, you already know. Mad love for the channel. Appreciate you guys. I'm getting on out of here. Enjoy your Sunday. Kiss your loved ones. Have fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Matchmaker Monday, 9 a.m., possibly 10 a.m. You know what? Let's go 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Matchmaker Monday. See you guys right back here on this channel. Don't forget to follow the channel. Sponsors, hit me up. What the fuck are you doing? I'm still waiting. Still waiting, sponsors. Your time is ticking. Time's ticking. Time's ticking. I'm waiting on you, sponsors. Don't forget to follow the channels, both of them. Scan the QR codes right there. Scan the QR code. Follow on socials. That's where we put out the parlays. We're trying to get to 750 subs. Let's do that. Enjoy your weekend. I'm getting out of here. Peace.
I live life how I wanna. Smoke out to marijuana. I live my life in these streets, leaking smoke out the window. I'm on a trail. Maybe I'm a gunner, cause I live in yonder. Hot box like a sauna, in a foreign or Americana. Let me grind my green, roll up, put inside my weed. Toast one to the sky, go the highest, then go puffin' like my trees. Floating on an Nimbus cloud, who's blessing where I'm hitting loud. Blowing smoke like guns blazing, blowing holes in the spanner one day, and I'm saying I live life how I wanna. Smoke out to marijuana. I live my life in these streets, making smoke out the window. I'm on a trail. Maybe I'm a gunner, cause I live in yonder. Hot box like a sauna, in a foreign or Americana. My eyes low, my vibes up, yeah. My fine smoker goes to sign us. If you want, I got more in the grinder. After the blood, you can call me a highness. I live life how I wanna. Smoke out to marijuana. I live my life in these streets, licking smoke out the window. I'm on a trail. Maybe I'm a gunner, cause I live in yonder. Hot box like a sauna, in